Everybody talks about the cost of living, but the other side of that conversation is income. How much people actually earn, what counts as a good salary, and why so many people still feel broke. Even me, even though I pay like way too much money in tax. But it's because the first prop number is what everyone quotes, the average salary. And most of the time, that number is misleading. When people say average, they usually mean the mean. That's just every salary added together divided by the number of people. Sounds sensible, but it breaks the moment you let a few high earners in. So let's say you've got 10 people. 9 of them earn $30,000 a year, and one person earns £300,000 a year. Suddenly, the average salary jumps up massively, even though almost like nobody in the group earns that number. That's why economists usually prefer something called the median. The median number is just the number in the middle. Half of the people earn more, half the people earn less. And that makes it a much better picture for the normal salary, just so you know what it looks like. So what does it look like in the UK according to the latest data provided by the ONS, the Office of National Statistics? I can never say that. The median salary for full-time people in the UK is roughly $39,000 a year. That means half of the full-time workers earn more than that, half earn less. The median shows where the middle really is. But there's another mistake people make when it comes to comparing salaries. They compare themselves to the wrong age group because income changes a lot over your lifetime. So if you're in your 20s, comparing yourself to people in their 40s, you're comparing yourself to people at the peak of their careers. But there's even something more interesting. Even if someone earns around the median salary, a lot of people still feel like their money disappears every month. And that's where budgeting frameworks come in. One of the most popular budgeting frameworks is the 50, 30, 20 rule, as they call it. 50% of your income goes to needs, things like rent, bills, transport, including that flashy car, and then 30% goes to lifestyle spending, and 20% goes into saving and or invest. So if someone earns the median salary in the UK of around 39k, that's somewhere around 2.5 a month after tax. Now, under this 50, 30, 20 rule, that would mean roughly 1,250 is for your needs, 750 for your wants, and roughly 500 for your savings, in theory. But in reality, especially where the housing costs are where they are now, many people still find that it's wrong, and it takes up, like, their housing cost takes up so much of their salary. So we've adapted this rule a bit. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm going to tell you about it. It's the 60-20-20 rule. So 60% for the needs, 20% for wants, and 20% for savings. What is the salary that actually puts you at the top of the ladder? Because when people hear top earners, they imagine something extreme. But some of the highest paying jobs in the UK are things like airline pilots, IT directors, chief executives, and senior marketing managers. Many of these roles enable people to earn somewhere between 80 to 90,000 a year. Even in my type of role as a chartered financial advisor, you can earn well over 100,000 a year. The average is probably around 70,000, maybe a bit more. So the real takeaway is this: most people compare themselves to the wrong number. They compare themselves to averages that don't represent realities and to people at completely different stages of their careers, or to lifestyles that don't show the spending behind them, especially on social media. The better question isn't just, am I earning enough? It's, where does my income sit compared to the middle? And how much of what I earn do I actually keep? Because a well-managed 35k salary can go a lot further than a £70,000 salary with no plan. And I've seen it time and time again in my career as a chartered financial planner. I've met execs at the big four consulting firms. I've met at big four law firms earning 165,000 a year, and they are completely broke. They've got the beautiful car, they've got the 2 kids, they've got a big mortgage, they take their fancy holidays, but they are broke and they are going to have to work until they drop. It is pretty harsh, and those type of careers can cause people to burn out quite rapidly. I've also got clients that are on $500,000 a year, and they've never invested in their life. They've never taken advantage, and they've paid so much tax that they did not need to pay for a sustained period of time. And so it's really important to analyze how you're spending your money, not just looking at what Mr. and Mrs. Jones down the road has compared to yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.